Hello dear friends and welcome back to my session. My name is Dr. Priya Singh and I am Assistant Professor, Department of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Jamia Millia Islamia. In my last session, I discussed about the function of Food and Beverage Department. So today, I will be introducing to you catering services. As we all know, hospitality is generally considered to be one of the oldest professions in the world, which dates back to almost the prehistoric times. It normally refers to the cordial and generous reception and entertainment of guests and visitors. It was one of the noblest causes to serve the travelers who were mainly the businessmen or the people moving because of the local government's purposes. It started from small places providing temporary shelters to the visitors, followed by practicing of providing food and beverage to the guests, and eventually ended up in facilities acting as home away from home. The hospitality industry today evolved in all corners of the world, along with the development of society and facilities, resulting in getting few of the best practices, which are now practiced all over the globe. Presently, it is one of the most diversified and specialized industry of the world, which employs millions of people directly or indirectly in various sectors. In general, we can say that hospitality industry portrays very glamorous and fashionable sectors of airlines, 5-star luxury hotels, luxury cruise liners, amongst others apart from lesser known but more specialized sectors like institutional catering, hospital catering, and venturing into the hospitality industry is a lucrative offer to all the entrepreneurs, but all depends upon proper management and operations of such property. Now we can say that food and service operations are continuing to improve and develop together with advances and quality. The demand for food and beverage away from home has increased, and with the broader spectrum of the population, eating out customer needs are continuing to diversify. The traditional means of service have changed over the period of time, and the modern day outlets are offering varied level of services to its ever demanding clients in a more planned and controlled manner. These type of establishments and their service styles have become a very critical factor in success of any establishment. Now we will move on to the introduction to the catering. The primary role of the food service industry is to provide food to all those who are not in a position to take the food at their homes due to one or the other reason. People who move out of their homes for different reasons are largely dependent on the food service industry for their meals. So as soon as the humans started traveling due to one or the other motives, at the end of the day, they wanted some place to provide a safe and secure shelter to them, which was evidently taken care by caves, streets, etc. Later, a system of providing accommodation along with food and beverage facilities was introduced as a barter system, and also a mechanism for providing food and beverage facilities on the move was developed. That is, during the caravans and other modes of travels which led to the concept of catering or providing food to a mass. The system also led to the introduction of various types of food joints, establishments which were designed primarily on the basis of needs and wants of the travelers. The Industrial Revolution has also helped the industry to develop in a more sophisticated manner, as the disposable income of the common man has increased today, and the demand forced the service providers to think of the developing new ways to attract the wealthy individuals. The same time period also witnessed the development of concepts of bar and pubs which were mainly targeted on the industrial workers and travelers. 18th and the 19th century saw the introduction of component of luxury in its day-to-day activities, and the basic facility now got converted into luxurious places of dining, offering the best possible delicacies to the client. The present time is another phase of changing trends in food and service industry, which are mainly because of the advent of trends and technology. There are different sectors of catering industry. There are many types of food and beverage outlets which vary in size, style, location and service clients. The industry caters to the demands of lakhs of people. On the basis of their demand, we have food which includes a wide variety of cuisines, style and speciality, example Chinese cuisine or Italian cuisine, styles like grilled or stir-fried, specialities like vegetarian food or a non-vegetarian food, beverages which includes all types of alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. Alcoholic drinks may include further like wines, spirits, beer, cocktails, etc. Whereas non-alcoholic beverages may include mineral water, lassi, tea, juices, etc. A fine dining restaurant or a dining outlet of accommodation sector, a roadside dhaba, a vendor at a railway station or a chai wala at the footpath are all examples of food and beverage industry. Therefore, it becomes very imperative to segregate various sectors of the catering industry on the basis of prior service and on the basis of profit motto. On the basis of priority of the service, the food and beverage industry can be broadly classified as food and beverage industry, primary catering industry sector, then secondary catering industry. And now we have, on the basis of priority of the service, the primary catering industry covers all those types of establishment which are designed and primarily operated for the purpose of serving food and beverage to its client. For example, various type of restaurants, takeaway, dine-ins, F&B outlets of accommodation sector, etc. Secondary catering industry covers all those types of establishments where providing food and beverage service is not the primary activity. For example, hospital catering, institutional catering, transport catering, etc. Now, on the basis of the profit motive, the F&B industry can broadly be classified as the commercial sector, that is very much profit oriented, the welfare sector, which is service oriented and not the profit oriented, and the general market, which is restricted markets like the hotels, motels, resorts. We further have transport catering, which is and the institutional catering. We even have restaurants, clubs, hospitals, bar and pubs. We have contract catering. We have defense forces, mice catering. We have food courts. We have function catering. We have takeaway. We have fast food options. We have theatres and amusement parks. We even have prisons and old age homes. We have orphanage and some of the other off-premises catering. We also, on the basis of the catering establishment, there are different types of catering establishment. The various type of establishments are as under. We have bar, we have public houses, we have mice, we have food courts, we have function and events, we have fast foods, we have theatres, we have amusement parks, we have off-premises catering, we have some examples of commercial catering like bistro, brasserie, gastrodome, we have coffee shops, we have transports. In transport, we have roadways, we have railways, we have airlines, we further have ships and cruise lines, we also have clubs, institutions, hospitals, we have defense establishments, we have prisons, which are also correction houses, we have old age homes, we have orphanage, we have restaurants. The primary function of commercial restaurant is the provision of food and beverages. Most of the independent restaurants do not have any in-house trade. They depend on their location and volume of passing trade and the reputation they develop from word of mouth advertising. Various type of restaurant includes snack bars, cafes, coffee shops, takeaway, ethnic restaurants, hot cuisine restaurants, etc. These varied types of establishments have equally varied style of service styles also, ranging from different types like self-service cafeterias to elaborative French service outlets. Many restaurants also follow the ethnic styles of services like Chinese, Indian, Japanese, etc. These establishments may have or may not have a separate area for the bar service alcoholic beverages, which act as a double beneficiary to the establishment by the means of giving a separate space for customers and also by giving more space and faster seat turnover in the dining area. Now we have bars and public houses. The public houses consist of a varied group of establishments which mainly offer alcoholic beverage to its customers. Depending on the type of license, it can be sold for its in-premises consumption or even for the off-premises consumption. Supply of food items and snacks become an ancillary part of their business and have come into practice because of the customer's demand. The menu offered in these outlets varies right from the convenience food to a full a la carte menu. Recent part has been a noticeable change of public houses and the style of service and operations have changed drastically. Now we have MICE. MICE catering can be on the on-premises also and off-premises also, depending on the type of the function. MICE stands for Meetings, Incentives, Conferences and Exhibition. It is arranged in accordance to the specific purpose and therefore the type of catering differs in each. In most of the cases, this type of catering is limited to packed food or working lunches or sometimes high tea or such type of quick service food. Such catering plays a huge role in case of events like India International Trade Fair, where the participants expect the food to be delivered to them on specific timings with a good quality and taste. Then we have food courts. This is a relatively new concept of the catering industry, wherein the guest can enjoy a variety of food or beverage of different type, taste, origin, etc. These are part of establishments like malls, theme parks, amusement parks, road layoff areas, etc. A common place for dining is provided to the customers, which is catered by different food and beverage service establishments. The benefit of operating such type of units is the variety of client that gets while having his meal. The service style is generally self-service or at times it can be assisted service, which helps in fast turnover and less staff requirements, making it a profitable venture. Now we have function and events. Now function catering is a very important catering and it can be described as the service of food and beverage at a specific time and a place for a given number of people at a mutually agreed price and other terms. Social gathering like marriages, business functions like conferences and any other function which might have been organized for social or welfare or business purpose will witness function catering. It can be found in commercial as well as non-commercial sector. Now we have takeaways and fast food. These types of outlets are concerned with the preparation and service of such foods and beverage items which can be prepared and sold on the immediate basis for the consumption, either on or the off premises. These units are generally themed around a single product or it can be even range of products, example burgers, pizzas, etc. or product from a specific country or region, example we can have South Indian, Chinese, etc. The production chain in either semi-automated or fully automated, making the operations fast and simple, and it involves use of convenience foods. Staff involved in the operation is generally multi-skilled so that the unit can be more productive with less number of staff, which ultimately results in bringing down the cost of operation. Such outlets also offer the services of drive-through facilities which are targeted on the passing by customers who do not wish to get down and would like to have their own food in their car itself. Theatres and amusement parks. Now the catering involved in theatre and amusement park is simple and speedy. Generally follows the principle of takeaways and fast food outlets. Example, limited choice in the menu with fast service operations. The items normally served are snacks and non-alcoholic beverages, which are moderately priced so as to make it attractive and popular among the visitors. Moreover, heavy food or full meals restrict the psychological factor or enjoyment. Keeping in mind about the ease of operation with minimum possible staff, food and beverage offered are mostly served in disposables. Now, we come to a very important category of catering, that is off-premises catering. Off-premises catering or off-site catering is one of the most popular type of catering, which is supposed to cater at any location which is of the main workplace. It constitutes a number of transportable equipment, gadgets and supplies. The standard of the catering varies from a simple get-together lunch to a theme marriage function. Temporary structures are set up at the place of function and all necessary supplies required for the function are gathered. The food and the beverage offered are often limited due to the restrictions of transportation. But nowadays, many of the entrepreneurs are not taking it as a constraint due to the availability of refrigerated transport vans. The food is generally prepared at the centralized kitchen and then transported in these vans before it is given a final touch at the service station. Other commercialized catering establishment examples include bistro, brasserie, gastrodome and coffee shop. Now about the bistro, these are small establishments with casual style of seating and furniture. May or may not serve alcohol. Menu may normally comprise of simple and easily prepared dishes. Braised meats and coffee are the specialities of such outlets. Menu may be on a blackboard or if printed with specials on the board. The service is very fast and casual with no cutlery presets on the table. Then we have brasserie. These are comparatively bigger establishments with formal style of seating and furniture. Normally it serves drinks, one-plate items and other dishes apart from snacks and coffee. The menu is offered in printed and the service is given in a formal style by the waiters in traditional uniform of long aprons and waistcoat. Then we have gastrodome. This is a new type of multi-level establishment with a sleek interior design offering all the services of a traditional brasserie. These types of outlets are normally found in the busy malls and shopping centers where the crowd is moving and would not like to spend more time having food and beverage. It is often referred as new wave brasserie and is normally busy and bustling with crowd. The cover turnover is very high. Then we have coffee shop. Coffee shop is a modern daily concept which has come from USA. It is a restaurant which generally serves all meals of the day, right from the breakfast to the supper. These are often operational 24 hours in a day in a hotel to cater round-the-clock demands of the hotel guest. The furniture, cutlery and crockery utilized are not very expensive and the style of service is casual. Generally, the food order comes pre-plated and covers all laid on the table mats. Then we have transport. As the name suggests, it is the transport catering which deals with the catering done on the rail, road, air and sea in all the modes of transport. It is distinctly different from other types of catering business as it involves feeding large number of customers at specific time. The physical conditions in the work area make the service of food and beverage items more difficult. Sometimes the mixed client, the restricted operational area, high cost and limited staff availability makes the things more conducive. Transport catering can broadly be classified into different types, like we have roadways, which is a very popular mode of travel since the early time, that is traveling by road. The taverns of the earlier times have now been transformed to present-day motels and other roadside catering establishments. The operational timings for such units are normally 24 hours of the day. Staffing remains an area of concern for these outlets as they are normally located on the highway at a distance from populated areas and the peak time operations required more number of people. The food and beverage offered has a variety as different travelers have different choices during the period of their journey. But still, most of the units serve food from light snacks to full meals and non-alcoholic beverages with the options of even takeaway foods. Then we move on to the railways. Rail is one of the cheapest and most convenient modes of distance traveling. It caters to thousands of people on everyday basis on its terminal or during the journey. Therefore, railway catering can be divided into different parts like a terminal catering and in-transit catering. Catering at railway stations or terminal is done through the licensed cafes, the food stalls, fast food and takeaway vendors or canteens. Catering during the transit is more difficult as large amount of food is prepared and served to the passengers on their seats. Cooking during a movie train is itself a challenging task, but serving the food in a moving train makes it more difficult as there is always a possibility of spillage. Hence, special training is required for the food and beverage staff involved in railway catering. Then comes the airlines. The distinctive feature of the airline catering is that it is requirement often catered by a similar vendor who is supplying alike food to the other air carriers as well. The price of the food and beverage is generally included in the price of the ticket. Similar to the railway catering, airline catering can also be divided into two forms like terminal catering and in-flight catering. Catering at the airports and terminal is run through licensed cafe, fast foods outlet, self-service and waiter service restaurant supplemented by vending machines and bars. The in-flight catering varies with the class of travel. The economy class passengers are offered pre-portioned snacks or meals with disposable cutlery and crockery assembled over a plastic tray, thereby reducing the weight in the flight, whereas the passengers of business class or the executive class will be offered food in the bone china crockery with EPNS cutlery and fine glassware. Also, there is no restriction of the portion for the passengers of business class. Additionally, they are also served the food of their choice, whereas the passengers of economy class do not get choice except that of vegetarian or a non-vegetarian food. The space of movement and the storage inside the aircraft act as the major deterrent in providing a more detailed dining experience. It forces the airlines to look out for a lighter and easy to carry approach. Then finally, we have ships and crew liners. The level of service and food varies in accordance to the distance of the sea routes. Normally, ferries plying on the shorter sea routes will have the facilities of snacks and soft beverages, whereas ships playing on the longer routes will have full-fledged kitchens offering full meals to the travelers. Level of food offered and services reach its heights when the catering is done on luxury crew liners, as availability of variety of food and beverage makes the difference between the two competitive cruise liners. The menu is offered in the vessel has to be balanced, as many of the travelers face the problem of seasickness apart from the possibility of having scurvy, a disease due to the overusage of canned foods. Last, we have the clubs. Clubs are those establishments which offer the service of food and beverage and sometimes accommodation to their licensed members. These may include a political party club, it can be a societal clubs like Lion clubs, Rotary clubs. We can even have sports clubs like Mohun Bagan, Working Women's Club, association clubs. We can have health clubs. Now, such clubs are operated after obtaining the legal permissions from the local administration, and a major part of their revenue is generated through the sales of food and beverage in association with the restaurant and bar. Clubs are normally known to provide good quality food and beverage. Then we have institutional catering, which is very important, and this normally refers to the various educational institutes like schools, colleges and universities providing catering. It can be either separated into the catering for residents and non-residents, or can be common structure for both. It is considered to be one of the specialized form of catering, as the menu offered is normally cyclic and can be designed in accordance with the nutritional requirements of the students, which normally depends on various other attributes. This type of catering is often subsidized, or the margin of the profit is kept to the minimal, but nowadays many of the organizations are also into the practice of making it commercially viable option and are leasing their food premises on contract to other companies for operation. It is a time-bound and fast mode of operation requiring a bigger space and comparatively good manpower. Normally, all meals of the day are served in mess or cafeteria, and special provisions are made for holidays and also off days. Then we have hospitals catering. It is a completely specialized form of catering which deals with one of the most crucial aspects of patients' recovery, that is meeting out his dietary requirements. There are various types of patients in the hospital at a given point of time and with different types of ailments. Some of them might be recommended for a different dietary plan, whereas some may be referred for another, thus making it challenging task to meet out the requirements of all the patients. Normally, the food is prepared in a centralized production unit, plated and served through trays to different areas. Then we have defense establishment, which is most of the defense forces including the army, the navy, air force, guard police, fire brigade and other such associated services have their own catering units which generally deal with their requirements. Most of the forces are known to have a structural level of catering, that is different service establishments for various cadres. The JCOs and the below level staffs are served in large self-service cafeterias, whereas the commissioned rank officers are served either in officers' mess or specialized restaurants offering a wide variety of food and beverage. The defense organization also specializes in organizing large-scale banqueting arrangements for their personnel, and such functions can be inside the premises or off premises as well. We have prisons and corrections home catering also. Most of the catering done in the prisons or correction home is managed by the inmates themselves under the supervision of the catering officer. The warden normally gives the responsibility to such inmates who can manage the catering operations. The allowances for catering to inmates are very limited, and hence the food is strictly prepared as per the predefined cyclic menu, and it is simple. The portions distributed are controlled, and in case of extra dietary requirements, separate payments are made by the inmates from their personal savings. Then we have catering which is done in old age homes or orphanages. Catering done at old age homes or orphanage is altogether different from those given in other sectors. It is a mix of catering which is done at different level of schools, colleges and hospitals. As the dietary requirement of each resident differs, the food is generally prepared keeping in mind about the RDA, that is recommended dietary allowances requirements. In case of requirement of any extra nutritional requirement to be given, supplementary food is also provided. So this was all about today's session. Hope you enjoyed the session and found it useful. Thank you and have a good day.